Welcome back to Bros in a Landfill. We do this show for the same reason you're listening to it. To procrastinate on our responsibilities. Thank you for the beans, Dizzy.
Have some beans. Your host for today is the Ash-Right Tar,
Hi.
and that's it. Have fun, Tar.
Bye.
That was a joke. I was kidding.
I know. So a while back, we did that episode on, well, we weren't really, I don't think that was an episode where we really had a topic in mind, and we ended up drifting over to the RPG Maker horror games.
So this is just, what if this was just horror game cast, not specifically about what you said earlier, but just an all-encompassing horror game cast?
I don't actually know that many horror games, but I suppose we can.
Give us 5 likes if you want me to force Tar to play Yumineki. I'm counting on you.
Fuck.
I'm counting on you, Enigma.
Fuck. But anyways,
how dare
a while
you say
back,
fuck on our family-friendly Christian podcast, you asshole.
Fuckity fuck.
I'm so sorry.
So we drifted onto the topic of the RPG horror makers, and I managed to convince Dizzy to play Ebe.
Yes.
So now that that's had some time to gel and you've had some time to forget about it, what do you think about it after the fact?
After the fact? I mean, I only got one ending, so...
You did only get one ending, and I carried you to it. Thank you. You're welcome.
Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much. I did. I asked you a lot of times. I said, what do I do here? I'm actually pretty god-awful at puzzles.
Which is odd, I think. Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I'm much more of like a platformer kind of guy, or like an RPG kind of guy. So I mean, I'm good at
RPGs are okay.
I'm good at different kinds of puzzles than actual like get thing and put things somewhere else.
Logic puzzles.
That makes you sound like I'm stupider than I am.
Like, what was your favorite moment of the game?
The moment that stuck the furthest in my head was the split room puzzle, where you have the two rooms.
But I'm assuming that like wasn't your favorite.
I think I asked you to carry me a little too much because then I didn't really figure anything out. The whole game had a nice creepy atmosphere.
Well,
the
also
part where
the co-op section, like, I feel like nobody really gets the part where you're supposed to shove the mannequin head down. Like you remember that part, right?
Yeah, it's heavy.
So you have to push.
You make it fall.
Because, yeah.
And then Kazuma Kiryu,
like, I think that's
from Yakuza 0 is going around yelling at random high schoolers to stop their bizarre business practices. But then they're like, "We're not gonna stop."
I'm confused about how we got here.
I'm just saying about a lot of things where you have. What am I talking about?
You're talking about strange business practices.
Okay, so my brain kind of went crazy for a minute, and it was like, yeah, you have those 3 mannequin heads, and 2 are light and 1 is heavy. And this is light as in weight, not as in like light and darkness, like Smash Brothers Ultimate. It's like weight. So 2 are light, 1's heavy, and you kind of have to figure stuff out. And then in Yakuza 0, there's this part where you have to find a specific high school girl out of a group of high school girls that are all dressed relatively similarly. And then if you talk to them and you're like, wait, that's not the right one, before you actually you're thinking, should I confront this person? And then you have yes or no, and if you hit no, the person will, then Kiryu will be like, that one doesn't really match the description. I think this is wrong. And then sometimes it'll be like, that one was pretty close. I think it was, but this was wrong. Because the person you're looking for, the description you were given didn't completely match the person you were actually looking for. So there was something wrong with all of them. None of them matched the description.
Oh,
None of them matched the description perfectly, but one of them was the person you were trying to find. So
that's
and
odd.
then you find the person. It's because you're given a weird kind of ruling. It's like this person sometimes wears this, but sometimes doesn't. So you have to kind of. So it's
Oh,
it's tricky. So like you're looking for someone that fits the description, but one of the articles of clothing that the person tends to wear is not mandatory or not set in stone. So you're like, well, so
okay.
it's weird. And then you tell them to stop selling their underwear to creeps. Yeah,
What?
that was the business practices.
Oh,
You're saying stop doing that. It's wrong and immoral, and also you're forcing other people who don't want any part of this into it, and then they're being stalked, and it's just this horrible mess. And then the person who's leading the group is like, "No, we're gonna keep doing it."
excuse me.
And then you is like,
Wait, what?
"Yeah." The person who leads the group is like, "You can't talk me out of this, so go away." And then Kiryu's like, well, I need to think of another solution then, because talking isn't working. And then he leaves, and then a crazy guy with a knife shows up, and he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And Kiryu beats him up, and then the lady's like, oh my gosh, you're right, this is really dangerous, I should stop doing this. And then everything is resolved.
Oh, oh. Well, isn't that convenient?
Not really.
Oh.
It's contrived. Oh yeah, and then there's like, and then you there's like, this is completely unrelated, but there's like these group of thugs that are called the Men in Black, and they're all over the city, and they're just harassing people for money, and it's insane. They're just
As Men in Black
they're
typically do.
everywhere. They're like a roach infestation. It
Oh.
is insane. I'm like, how many suited?
Do the Men in Black try to approach the Men in Black for money?
Maybe that would explain why they're so big on the thieving gang, because they gotta fund those space weapons.
Oh.
It is insane. It's like you turn a corner and there's some people being bullied by the Men in Black for money, and then you beat up the Men in Black and they just run to a different person and beat them up instead, and then they're everywhere. It's crazy. I swear.
What if it's all just the same guy and he's trying to mind wipe you?
It's possible. It's and then
That's the only thing about Men in Black that I really know.
and then so they mind wipe Ebe, and then she forgets about the painting world, and then they burn the painting, which is why you can't go back to that other room at the end of the game.
Amazing. I'm glad this explanation exists.
Yes. What's a better game in your opinion, Ebe or Mad Father, or Witch's House?
I have zero experience with Mad Father. I definitely prefer Ebe over Witch's House.
I don't get Mad Father because it's like, I guess the game is.
I hear it's very flashback heavy.
Well, there's a lot of flashbacks in the game, yeah, but I mean, I admit that some of it was lost on me because some of the atmosphere was lost on me because I watched Let's Plays of it instead of playing it myself. But I didn't get it because it seemed like this person you were playing as was just very easily scared by everything, and then and then at the end of the game, she's like, "Now I'm going to follow my father's footsteps and murder people and stuff them."
Wait, lol, what?
Yeah, her father is like a human. What do you call that? Where you stuff animals?
He's a human.
He's what do you call that?
I'm sorry.
Kara somethinger, where you kill an animal, or you take a dead animal and you stuff him.
Taxidermy?
Yeah, he's a human taxidermy guy. He's a crazy person. That's why he's called Mad Father, because he's crazy. And then,
well, I probably should have seen that coming, huh?
Yeah, and then all the people that he killed and then stuffed came back as ghosts. which is where the monsters in the game came from and stuff.
Okay, but how cute are the ghosts?
Oh, they're not very. Most of them are.
This is I just Spooky's jump scare mansion just entered my mind, and I wanted a segue.
Do you want?
But you know what? The segue may have been a bit premature.
Tar, real talk. If you could force me to play one game or the other and watch as I suffer and die, would you rather me play Spooky's jump scare or Ebe?
Oh, that's
I
a
think
damn good question.
I'm gonna pull up Steam right now and see if it's on sale.
Let's. Well, Spooky's. Well, the base version is free.
Tar?
Yo.
You just keep cutting out.
I said the base. I said the base version is free.
Oh yeah, it is. And the HD version is $6.90.
Like
six.
Oh, so it is on sale. Nice.
Yeah, it's 33%
nice.
off. Everybody go out right now and buy Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. Unless you're me, in which
The
case you'll
HD
download the
version.
free version because I have no money. I have no money.
Let's see. Well, I've already seen you play Ape, so I guess I gotta say Spookies. All right, very funny.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Krabs.
Okay. So what are we talking about?
We were talking about horror games.
Right. Lunch and I were trying to play a game called... Lunch wasn't trying to play it. He was watching me try to play a game called Yomawari, Midnight Shadows. That game scared the shit out of me. I never finished it.
Oh?
I keep thinking I should, but I always get too scared.
What's it about?
Okay, so you have these two girls. They're both small children.
Far.
They're both small children. One of them
status quo.
One of them has to move away to another city, and they'll never see each other again. So on their last night together, they go out to watch the fireworks. Because it's like some sort of big festival or something, so they go to watch fireworks. And they climb up a big hill to do it. And then when they try to climb back down the hill, they are suddenly attacked by monsters and ghosts, and they're separated. And one of them gets kidnapped and taken to some kind of construction site where a crazy ghost demon monster thing fucking decapitates her. And then the other girl is just running around the city that's full of horrifying ghost monsters looking for her best friend. It's really sad.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm too scared to actually finish the game. It legit disturbs me. It has a really good atmosphere. I told Enigma because
was its atmosphere as good as Eve's?
Was it what?
Did it have a better atmosphere than Eve?
God damn it, Discord is being a butt. I can't hear you.
Did it have a better atmosphere than Eve?
Well, the thing about Eve is that you were there with me
at that time. Okay.
So we were cracking jokes and stuff. So that's not quite the same. It's not really because I guess Lunch was there. Oh,
jeez, now you're cutting out on my end. This is a disaster.
I guess Lunch was kind of there, but he laughed and he was saying this game's spoopy. And yeah,
that's kind of the point. Yes.
Yeah, and and I told Enigma because Enigma liked Yomawari, the first one, because Midnight Shadows is a spin-off with a completely different cast of characters and a completely different situation in a completely different town. So really, it has nothing to do with the first one, apparently, at all. And Enigma was like, Enigma was like, "What are you talking about? Yomawari isn't scary. It's a fun, cute anime game." And I was like, Enigma, you're doing that thing where I can't tell if you're bullshitting me or not.
As Australians do.
He's not Australian.
But Enigma's Australian.
No, he isn't.
Oh, you're bullshitting me because Australia doesn't exist. Thanks, flat earthers.
No, because the world is a cat playing with Australia.
Oh, of course.
No, but Australia isn't real. That's true. Flat earthers are right about everything.
Oh.
That's the real horror game. Is that once that crazy guy launches the rocket from his backyard all the way up into space that he made, and he sees the world is flat, and he takes some pictures, then he'll come back down, and he'll be like, "You see, everybody, I was right. The world was indeed flat." And then the real horror game becomes our lives. The Australians rip off their faces, and they're like, "We were lizards the whole time. The truth has been revealed." And then Enigma's like,
"Oh
"Wait,
no!"
what?" Because Enigma's not Australian, so he's like, "Wait, what? Oh, this is weird." And then he leaves.
Should we start over? We have time.
No, I don't want to start over. We have
Why
24
not?
minutes.
This is a disaster.
This is just Chillcast.
Oh yeah, is that what we're calling it?
This is Chillcast with Tar.
Chillcast about a decidedly unchill topic. Okay.
This is the new Bros No Landfill spin-off series, Chillcast, where Tar, who is awake...
The landfill freezes over and Tar suffers.
Tar suffers with sick people.
Gosh, why is everyone sick right now?
Because, fuck you, it's July.
Exactly, it's July! No one should be sick in July. Well, except maybe people in the Southern Hemisphere, but you know what? Southern Hemisphere doesn't exist.
Tar, can you explain something to me?
What am I explaining to you?
Where the hell did Christmas in July come from?
I don't know.
Because I remember
I guess people think July is the opposite of December when it's actually June, you fuckwits. But Christmas in June doesn't have the same ring to it.
Why does Christmas in July have a ring at all?
Listen, man, it's still a long way from the holidays. We want something to celebrate.
Long way from a holiday. We have the 4th. We're United States of America citizens. We celebrate the 4th.
Yeah, but you don't get presents for the 4th of July.
You don't get anything for the 4th of July. For the holiday,
you get charges for pyrotechnics.
I question if the 4th of July is actually more heavily celebrated outside of the United States than inside. Because inside the United States,
really?
we just I question if it is, because I don't know a whole lot of how a whole lot of other places do it.
I don't. Well, nobody else has any reason to celebrate it.
Well, I asked that question because over here in the United States of America, we celebrate shit like Cinco de Mayo and St. Patrick's Day. And when I say celebrate, I mean we use it as an excuse to get drunk. And so, and I'm wondering if other places do that with the 4th of July, where they just use it as an excuse to sell alcohol and get drunk.
No. Americans use it as an excuse to sell alcohol and get drunk.
So no, we're the only people that celebrate 4th, and we don't even.
I think we are. I think we are.
This is the most depressing episode ever. I was about to go off on a tangent about how I think the United States of America is the only bunch of people that celebrate the 4th of July. It's possibly one of the biggest holidays and events in our fucking history. It's our Independence Day, I think, and no one gives a shit. No one celebrates.
I actually saw something funny about that. It was a picture of Queen Elizabeth. This is Happy Treason Day, motherfuckers.
Treason Day?
Because we were British, but now we're not. Now we're a shithole. Kind of. I don't know.
The British are celebrating our fucking Independence Day more than we are.
I don't think that's the case, but I'm not entirely certain. I've only been to Great Britain once, and it was in June.
Well, then you can celebrate June and July, and Christmas.
You can celebrate June and July and Christmas. We need that one immortalized.
Anyways, horror games. Let's get back on topic. This episode was recorded on the 6th of July, can you tell? Tar, if you were going to make a horror game, what would the premise be?
Oh dear. If I were to make a horror game, what would the premise be? What hasn't been done yet?
Well, it doesn't matter what hasn't been done, and what matters is how well you do it.
Oh, true. All horror games are the same anyways.
No, not really. It's just if you worry about what's already been done, if that's like the biggest concern, then I'm saying like I think you should just do what you think would be interesting, and if someone else already did it, you can draw some inspiration. But I don't think it's going to be the same just because it has a similar premise.
I don't know because like the protagonist needs a reason to be like to be in the situation they're in.
Well, usually they're trapped. That's where the horror tends to come from.
Of course. Yes.
I guess
except for spookies. Except for spookies for some reason. You're there of your own will.
Wait, you can leave in spookies? I thought the whole point was that you were trapped.
Well, actually, yeah, you are. Spookies is like, hey, you're a historian trying to investigate this mansion that's a lot of people go in, but nobody seems to come out, so you strap on your historian boots, and you march up there, and you meet this ghost girl who says you need to meet her at the end of 1,000 rooms. Don't die.
Tar, I need you to hold that thought for a second.
Okay, what should I hold it with? Oh, he left. Oh, he's back.
Is that better? Hello?
Hi, Dizzy.
Oh, goddamn.
Dizzy?
Everything sucks. Hello?
Okay, I found you. I found the Dizzy.
Halo Reach. It's me, Master Chief, here with the news update. Halo 6 will not be very good.
Oh.
Anyways.
Well, that's tragic.
So you were talking about Spooky's House of Jump Scares, and
No, it's not Spooky's House of Jump Scares anymore. It's Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. This is very critical.
Oh, goddamn. Well, now Spooky's gonna come to my house and jump scare me.
Oh, no! Look out for the cardboard cutouts!
I'd love it if there's like spooky cardboard cutout pops out, and you're like, that's not scary. And then Spooky just floats on in, rips the cardboard cutout out of the wall, and just starts whacking you with it. Is it scary now, motherfucker?
Gosh, that would be like her. Not gonna lie. Akuma Kira, please confirm. Wait, hang on. It was Akuma Kira who made the game, right?
Great, we'll tweet him.
I know they did the sound design.
We'll tweet at him and say, would Spooky rip off a cardboard cutout and then just beat the player with it? And then they'd say, why are you calling me?
But yes. What did you want to know about Spookies?
I wanted to know why you're so against Yumi Nikki.
Oh. That has nothing to do with Spookies.
No, I'll get back to Spookies, don't worry. Okay, fine, I'll ask you about Yumi Nikki later. So Spookies you're trapped there, right?
Yes.
Because you go in and you don't come out. That's the thing about that's typically one of the things about horror is that you can't leave. You're stuck. Usually they add an extra element of being stuck where you're not only trapped but you're looking for someone. Like in Mad Father, you're looking for your father, and
that makes sense.
In Yomawari, I mean, the whole city is, or the whole town is totally effed, and also you're looking for your best friend. So you have nowhere to run, and also you're looking for someone. So it's like that's where a lot of the horror stuff comes from. It's the reason why zombies are interesting, because
Okay.
zombies like screw up everything and they trap you. Although realistically,
Okay,
zombies could never happen.
Dizzy, I'm gonna stop you for a second.
Yeah.
I need to stop you for a second, Dizzy,
Yes.
because you just put the word zombies and interesting in the same sentence.
I just put the words what and what.
Zombies and interesting. That was a joke. Please laugh, you sheep.
Zombies can be interesting if they're not written in horrible Resident Evil movies.
Gosh. You know, I've never played Resident Evil either.
All right, let me give you everything you need to know about Resident Evil. Number 1, play Resident Evil 4. Number 2, that's it.
Okay.
I mean, some people
Is
say
that is
some.
that it's that is Resident Evil 4 the one where Leon punches like slaps a boulder a bunch?
No, that was Resident Evil 5, where Chris punches a boulder.
Oh,
Resident Evil 4 was that game that Devil May Cry 1 was
good.
going to be, but then they changed it into Devil May Cry, and then they made Resident Evil 4 instead. Some
Okay.
Resident Evil fans would say, "Oh, you should play Resident Evil 7. That game was really good." And that game it wasn't bad. I'll say that. It was a horror game, unlike Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil
It
6.
was the Super Monkey Ball banana splits of Resident Evil.
Is that a good game or is that an okay game?
It's okay, but it's way better than the stuff that came before it.
Okay, yeah, so Resident Evil 7 is the Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz of Resident Evil games.
No, not Banana Blitz. Banana Blitz was awful. Banana Splits with an
Banana Splits.
SP.
That one's going on to the Twitter quotes. Resident Evil 7 is the Super Monkey Ball Banana Splits of Resident Evil games.
Gosh, we really did start doing that, didn't we?
Yeah, 7 wasn't as good as a lot of people say, but it was not bad. It certainly was not bad. It was a bit stupid, but
So you were asking about Yume Nikki earlier. Like, it doesn't look like there's any actual gameplay. And before you start writing on me about this, it doesn't look like Spookies has a lot of gameplay either, but at least Spookies has chase scenes.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm much less interested in playing it now. Because I get to one of those chase scenes. That's all I'm gonna be doing for the next half hour. Just keep getting.
They don't chase you for that long.
No, I'm just gonna die that much.
Oh. Most of the chases aren't really that threatening.
You're gonna get so fed up that you're gonna say, Dizzy, I'm literally charting a plane to come to your house so that I can do this crap for you because I'm sick of watching you die. Anyways, I was
you're gonna want to watch out for the puppet man, and you're gonna want to watch out for the parasite man.
The only thing that's got me wigged is that there's apparently some eyeball gore, and that's like, ugh.
Oh yeah, Mr. Puppet Man is there.
Yeah, that's the only thing that has me like kind of squiggy because I'm like, I don't really have a good stomach for gore.
Yeah, eyeballs are wonderful things.
Yeah, eyeball gore scares the shit out of me. Well, it doesn't scare me. It wigs me out. There's a difference.
It squeaks you out.
Yeah, it's like when we talk about fear and surprise and startle. It's like I call scaring me like or fear something that like makes you shake and makes you like look over your shoulder more than once. I call being like wigged out like something that makes you feel all uncomfortable and grungy. And then I call frightened like a sudden shock that you get over relatively quickly.
That's fair.
Well, maybe not frightened.
Like a startle.
Startled, yeah. Like FNAF startles. Well, actually, I've been legitimately like disturbed by FNAF at times.
Oh, FNAF. Gosh, that game sure existed, didn't it?
Still does. They made a VR game.
gosh, they're still trying to milk that?
Well, I mean, I don't know. They made a VR game where
How many cries for death has FNAF had?
cries for death. A lot. FNAF wants to die, but it also doesn't. Scott's like, I want to make.
Okay,
Scott
so
Cawthon says, I want to make games that people will enjoy, and people say, make more FNAF, you fucker. And then Scott's like, well, I mean, I guess that's my lot. Guess that's what I'm down to.
okay, so tell me I'm wrong here. Five Nights peaked at Five Nights 2.
That's what everybody says. They say 2 was the best, most challenging, most well balanced, most frightening. That's what everyone says. I know someone who says 3 was the best. I know Mark
3 was just really dark.
Markiplier. I think he says that he liked 4, but I don't think he ever said it was his favorite. I think he said that he rather enjoyed it. So I don't know if that means anything.
I mean, he's just kind of the FNAF king, so that's his whole claim to fame, I would wager.
Markiplier is very interesting when you talk about FNAF stuff because he's like, okay, I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm pissing off somebody, but like,
you're gonna piss off someone either way.
Well, Markiplier is the king of FNAF because he has like however many
the largest.
He has
the largest fan base for it.
Let me check this right now. He has 24 million subs. He has the widest scope of range, and people know that he plays FNAF. There are people out there that are better than Mark at FNAF, and he's even admitted this. But he's the most famous because he has the most reach. But
that's fair.
And I say
that's absolutely fair. I don't think that's a hot take at all.
I say this too because I also want to stress that I'm not saying Mark is shit at FNAF. Like, he actually did beat all the challenge modes and stuff.
Of course.
Like, he knows how to play the game. He's pretty good at it. But he's only king because he has like the most knowledge and stuff. Not the most knowledge. He has the most broadest reach. Like,
I just actually saw something interesting. I can't remember who the retrospective was, but like there was. I can't remember who did the retrospective, but someone did a FNAF retrospective, and they just tore it apart.
Tore what apart?
Like the entire FNAF series. Like, it is not like. It is a dysfunctional game.
Retrospective on the games or the story?
The game.
Okay, so he went from 1, 2, 3, 4.
He focused on 1.
Sister.
He focused on FNAF 1.
Yeah.
But like he was saying, like everything's a whole like. Oh gosh, I can't remember how it went.
Weren't they gonna make a FNAF movie?
Were they?
I think
they were.
I heard about that, but I don't know if it was ever real. I think like it was a troll or something.
Was it?
I don't know. I know it never came to fruition, but so that's why I say I think it was a troll, but I don't know.
Anyways, like he was going on about like his engineering studies and how that actually related to the fundamental dynamics of Five Nights. And basically he was really pissed because a couple of times while the monster was currently attacking him, the time switched over to 6 a.m. So he shouldn't have won, but he did. And that, like, he was sent forward a level, like, but he hadn't, like, completely conquered the one before that, so he was not prepared for, say, night 3 or night 4.
Well, he was basically prepared if he made it so far to the point that it was he was like 1 second off. I'd say that's you basically won at that point.
And like that problem didn't get fixed for the rest of the series.
Yeah, but it got fixed.
Didn't that even happen to Markiplier once?
Yeah, it happened to Mark once, but then
in FNAF 4, right?
Yeah, and then in VR, in the FNAF VR game, Mark got killed while the time was being transitioned from 5 to 6, and that counted as a loss, so I guess Scott finally fixed it. Except that doesn't sound like a fix, because Mark got killed while the time was changing from 5 to 6, so he should have won. I don't know.
But yeah, FNAF is
FNAF
existed. That's all I'm prepared to say on it.
It did more than exist. It had like a million spin-offs, some of which were interesting in of that they seemed to have a lot of work put into them. Some of them were terrible. Some of them were terrible and interesting in that it seems like someone put a lot of work into it, but what they made was not very good. And some were horrible, horrible cash grabs that were made just to say, look, we're like FNAF, and they were at least humorously bad.
Oh.
Some of the better FNAF spin-offs was like One Night at Flumpty's. Everyone loved that game, or everyone remembers that game.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that one, but like I never really investigated it. I never really investigated any of the FNAF spin-offs.
I only saw them because I watched Mark's channel.
Okay, I lied. I saw some people do the RPG.
Oh, the RPG.
I saw
oh, Five Nights at F Boys.
Yes, Five Nights. Five Nights at Fuckboys.
That one was. Someone definitely put a lot of work into that one, and yet somehow they never figured out the most simplest way of making it so that room transitions won't activate the moment you step on it, so that you can't get stuck in what is referred to as like the infinite back and forth, where you exit a room, go into another room, take a step in the wrong direction, then return to the room you just came from, and you get stuck in a loop.
Oh, okay, so that's tragic.
Let me explain this. So in RPG Maker games, there are ways of transitioning from one place to another by stepping on a specific tile. And RPG Maker games are built on a grid. And most people tend to make transitions to other rooms be 2 tiles wide. So if you step on either of these 2 tiles, you'll warp to the other room, and typically you'll spawn on the tile that is a teleporter to the other room that will not activate because you teleported to it. So it seems a little bit convoluted. Okay. But because you're
I understand what you're saying so far.
But because the tile that is right next to you is a warp right back to the room you were just in, sometimes you'll warp to another room, and then you'll take a step in the wrong direction, step on the tile that warps you back to the room you were just in, and then immediately exit the room that you just entered and go back to the room that you were just in. And then and sometimes I've seen people get stuck where they keep going back and forth between the same 2 rooms because they're trying to get into one room, but they keep accidentally stepping on the tile that warps them back to the room they were just in. And I was like, yeah, and there's actually a very simple solution to fix this problem, and I'm surprised that someone who put as much effort into the Five Nights at Fuckboys, because that person, their game was obviously a shit post, but they did put a lot of work into it. I can tell that as someone who dabbles in RPG Maker himself. I was like, yeah, you didn't. I was like, this wasn't made in 3 hours. This took this took a while, I assume.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's like, here's the solution. Here's the hot fix for all of you RPG Maker people out there. So you go into your event page when you make the room transition. You set conditional branch, and then you set it so that the event will only activate if your player is facing a certain direction, like up or down or left. And then if they're facing that direction when they touch the platform, then they'll go to another room. And that way you have effectively removed the accidental room leaving problem. And it's super simple, and it takes all of 3 seconds.
Oh gosh, I'm getting pinged.
Tara's getting pinged, and I'm getting punched in the face. Anyways, horror games.
What are you getting?
I'm getting punched in the face. Anyways, horror games.
Oh.
So, Tara, you were asking about an Ebe retrospective. What do you think about Ebe?
Ebe is one of my favorite horror games. Just because, like, the story writing is surprisingly well done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if it's just, like, the atmosphere or anything, or, like, the fact that you don't really meet anyone in the game, but the game gets you to care about these, like, so you meet two characters throughout the game, Gary and Mary.
Yes, and they both have names that are 4 letters long and end in RY. In fact, they both...
No, Gary has 2 R's, you dingus.
You have never watched SpongeBob.
I know SpongeBob Gary. I also know Ebe Gary. Ebe Gary is spelled with 2 R's, okay?
Well, but for the most part, their names are very similar. They both have ARY.
Yes, they are. Yes. Like, you don't get to, like, the game is very short. Like,
wasn't short enough.
Like, you blew through it in what? 3 hours? Because I was helping you?
2 hours and 48 minutes.
Even less than 3 hours. But, like, the game gets you to care about these characters in such a short period of time. And that's pretty impressive.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, I never really knew Mary, and I think it was pretty well established that Gary was kind of a wuss. He had a good heart. He had a good heart, but he had no guts. And I can prove.
Yeah, people like to play that part of him up in fan works and stuff.
You can't prove that he doesn't have guts either, because I never got him killed, so you couldn't see them spilled.
Oh. Yeah, that doesn't happen when Gary dies.
I thought he gets stabbed or something.
No, he just slumps over and Ebe thinks he's sleeping.
Oh, interesting.
Because, you know, Eve's a young girl and she doesn't understand the concept of death.
She's 7 years old. Kids these days and
she's 9.
She's 9 years old. Even worse. Kids these days and their smartphones are they're making social commentary about the war and politics and governments and stuff. Come on, Ebe, get with the program. Not only should you know what death is, you should welcome it.
Ebe doesn't have a phone.
Not only should you know what death is, Ebe, you should welcome and encourage it. That's just what the new generation does. Yeah.
Oh.
This is me. This has been DSY's horrible biting social commentary hour. That's right, you guy. No, I don't want to go there.
Oh.
By the way, I'm all this stuff I'm saying is bullshit. Like, don't listen to me.
I'm glad.
Don't listen to me.
I'm glad. But yes. Ebe has great characters.
Ebe has some good characters, except for her father. I literally forgot he existed. Fuck you, old man. You're not my real dad.
Gary's my real dad.
Gary's my real dad. I want
just this little girl. Imagine like putting on the sunglasses. Like, promise of reunion, bitch.
Can't imagine her with sunglasses, but I can imagine you with sunglasses.
Hey.
Beautiful. Ebe with sunglasses. Ebe like Gary and Ebe escaped the painting world, and then Gary's like, "We made it out, Ebe. We survived." And Ebe's like, "Yeah." And then she puts on sunglasses and she wipes Gary's memory, and she's like, "Oh, now you don't have to live with the fear of horrifying mannequins." But it doesn't work because Gary
only in his nightmares.
It doesn't work though because Gary remembers.
Gary does remember.
And then Ebe also
he just reaches back into his pocket and pulls out the candy, and it's just Like, what's this? Oh, that's right.
He pulls out the candy.
Why did that girl try to do that to me?
Yeah, he's like, hey, by the way, Eve, why did you put on sunglasses and flash me with the thing? And then she puts on sunglasses again and flashes him a second time.
She just like doesn't realize that it's the candy that's triggering his memory.
No, she only erases his memory of putting on sunglasses and hitting him with the light thing.
Oh!
She later calls Men in Black headquarters and says, hey, my memory erase thing's kind of a load of crap. I used it on this purple hair guy and myself, but we both got our memories back 5 minutes later. And then Men in Black are like, we're sorry, we're sending more people to beat up random civilians for money.
Is that how they get their funding?
Yes, but it is also how they get their...
It's also how they get their what?
I don't know. I don't have a response.
Oh.
I didn't have a punchline. So Tar.
It's okay. I never have a punchline.
So Tar.
I just say things and people laugh.
Tar, if you were stuck in Eve world, what color would your rose be?
Purple, obviously.
Yes, I thought so.
What color would yours be?
I wouldn't have a rose. I'd just die.
Blue. Oh. Well then.
I don't have a soul. What are you talking about?
Well, that just means Mary can't trade with you.
I have a yellow rose. What kind of rose do you have? I don't have a rose because I'm dead inside. Mary's like, oh, bye. And she just
sad.
She just leaves. She's like, oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
I think even Mary would think that's sad because like Mary is completely like the end justifies the means.
Well,
like she wants to get into the real world. Like that is her goal.
No, I'm like,
once she does that, who gives a fuck?
I'm like, Mary, I don't have a rose because I have no soul. And she's like, really? And you could be in the real world? And I was like, yeah. She's like, huh, I'm gonna go jump through a painting real fast.
And then she gets the painting's demise ending because fuck Mary.
She gets the good ending because she's like, huh, so this whole time I didn't need a soul to get out. Well, there goes the last 8 years of my life. What a rip.
Oh. You think Mary has that level of time perception? Do you think time advances in the gallery world?
Time is weird because I think it reset everything because when Ebe leaves, because Ebe jumps in before Gary, but somehow Gary gets in before Ebe did, and then Gary gets out before Ebe, and yet somehow Ebe finds Gary. So time in the gallery world is all screwed. It's all squiggy. And then Ebe goes to sleep.
Excuse me.
Ebe goes to sleep, and Gary's probably been there for a while.
Oh, true.
So time is all weird. Time is squiggy.
Time is wonky. Time is squiggy.
Why was there a picture of Eve's parents in the room with the sofa anyways?
I have no clue. Maybe that's supposed to be like a character establishing moment. Like they're like the gallery is trying to break Eve and it's working because like that was like the one time.
Well, because
Gary was like, "Oh, this kid's fucked."
Well, that was weird because when you go into the room with Red Eyes, Gary sees the dolls while Eve sees the bunnies. But it's like,
yeah.
But here Gary says, "Huh? That's a painting of your parents? Well, they do look like you." And it's like, okay, so that wasn't Eve wigging out. That was an actual.
No, that was not Eve wigging out.
And that's just why it's weird. I'm like, wait, so is Eve not real? Are her parents' drawings? What is happening?
I don't know what's up with that, honestly.
Call us Eve
creator. I think you're looking too far into it.
Well, everything else had an explanation, so that's why I'm upset.
Oh, that's fair.
Was this whole thing a dream and that's why? But that wouldn't make sense because Gary remembers it, and Mary can replace Gary. So it wasn't a dream. What's going on?
Well, let's see here. I'm trying to think back because, like, toward the very end, when Gary was like, "Hey, come through the painting with me, grab my hand," like a fake version of your mom shows up.
Yeah, but didn't you say that Ebe probably hallucinated that?
Wait. Oh yeah, that is a hallucination. My bad.
Because it's Ebe all alone, so she's just wandering around following something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, because like if you do go with your mother,
Yeah.
quote unquote, there, like
your mother, but
the
not your
view.
father, proving that Ebe does not love her father.
Gosh,
Gary's my
um,
real dad, you old fuck.
gosh,
Who
um,
taught you to talk like that? I learned it from watching you.
oh,
Wait, is this an anti-drug commercial now? Ugh.
like when you go with your mother, quote unquote, like it momentarily shifts to Gary's perspective, and the mom disappears.
Oh. Gary, I can't believe it. Why didn't you come back for me?
Um,
Isn't that
because he was in the real world. That's weird, honestly. Like, how could Gary do that?
what I was gonna ask is like, wasn't there like an ending where there's a fake Gary that like someone like fake Gary shows up to make
Yeah, if Gary dies and you kill Mary, a fake Gary will show up to try to lead you away,
what is
to try to get you the Eve all alone ending.
how does he justify not being dead?
It's a fake Gary.
Yeah, so what does he say? Is he like, hey, I'm not dead?
Like, hey, no, I think it was like, hey, I found the exit. It's this way.
And then you jump through the painting anyways.
Yeah, you had to jump through the painting anyways. And if you jump through the painting, like Gary, like the fake Gary tries to rush you.
He tries to jeez. But he can't make it out.
It's very odd.
Well, of course it's odd. It's not real Gary.
It's not a real Gary.
But then the hanged man becomes Gary, so I guess it was a real Gary because now he's a painting. I don't get it.
Yeah. That is the ending where he turns into a painting.
And then there's that book where E picks it up and she doesn't know what most of the words are, and then Gary closes the book and says, "You shouldn't read that."
Gosh, I'm so upset that that didn't happen for you.
Yeah, I did find the scene though. It was funny.
Okay.
Just you you shouldn't read that book, Ebe. It's not appropriate for children.
You can do it with Mary too.
Oh really? Wait,
with Mary in your party.
does Mary say that she doesn't want? Does Mary tell Ebe to not read the book?
No, like Mary also wants to know what it means.
What were they talking about? And Gary says,
Porn.
No, I was doing a Mary voice.
Oh,
I know what they were talking about. Come on, Tar. How old do you think I am? 7?
yes.
Well, I was asking you earlier about if you would make a horror game, and I was like, well, you
Yes, you
always need to
were.
have children for some reason. It's always got
You
to be
do
kids.
always need to have children, except for no, because in Spookies the children are dead.
Oh, were they?
The child is dead
Was the child killed by Anakin
for
Skywalker?
like 50 years. Like the Spooky's been dead for like 50 years supposedly.
Was she killed by Anakin Skywalker? Wait! Oh
No.
my God, Tar!
What?
Spooky has been dead for almost 50 years, but she's still a child. And then Timmy wished that time wouldn't go forward. Is Spooky Chloe?
Oh no! I don't think she is, because like, isn't Chloe supposed to be like super amiable,
Super whatable?
like super friendly, and like I'm a good girl?
Well, isn't Spooky super friendly because she's just gonna toy with you the whole time?
No, Spooky fucking hates you.
Oh, I thought she was like Oh, okay. Well,
Spooky's doing everything she can to impede your progress.
well, no, I meant with like a friendly tone, though. Despite the fact that she's actively trying to stop you.
Not really, because like she gets super depressed when you open the 1,000th door.
Oh, well, what if Chloe from Fairly Odd Parents is actually just a fake persona that Spooky has when she's like when she was a
I
human?
don't.
It was
I
all a
don't think.
lie, and then when she
I.
died and became Spooky, she's like, well, I don't have to pretend anymore.
I don't think that's right. Also, how do you think Spooky died? Because like that's actually explained.
How do I think she died? It was probably horribly gruesome. It was probably
Um.
horribly gruesome while simultaneously being ridiculously absurd, like a meteorite or something.
Actually,
Or she got
actually, not really. Like,
so it's like
so
super
Spooky was
serious.
like always a prankster, but she was like she always wanted people to be afraid of her. Like
Uh,
even when she was alive.
and
Gosh, fireworks are really still happening, huh? It's light outside, you dinguses.
this was recorded on the 6th of July. Could you tell?
Like
Well,
she like
it,
always wanted to scare people, so she was like this massive prankster. So
did she?
one of her pranks went a little too far.
Uh,
She ended up like one of her pranks involved fireworks, and her victim happened to be a war veteran with PTSD.
so he shot her.
Yes,
I see.
that is what happened.
Well, that. Hmm.
Spoilers for Spookies. That's completely important and relevant.
Well, why did you tell me in the audience that then? Dingus should have done
It's
it.
not very important. Like
Oh,
the important part is the chase
the
scenes.
important part is that Spooky lives in eternal sadness because now that she's a ghost, she can never get her hair the way that she wants it to anymore.
No, her hair is actually still exactly the same as it was in life.
Yeah, but she could never get it the way she wanted to in life either.
Oh, is that true? Is that true? Is that canon?
You'll have to ask the creator when you ask. Just start tweeting at the creator a bunch of stupid nonsense, and then he's like, "I hate you, bros in a landfill. You've ruined my life.
I think the creator for Spookies is a girl.
I hate you, bros in a
But
landfill. You've ruined my life."
that was a horrible girl voice.
I have a
I'm
terrible,
insulted on.
I have a terrible
I'm
voice.
ashamed on
Period.
your behalf.
I have a terrible voice in general, Tar. I don't know what you expected.
That's fair.
N-
Yes, I did just insult you in front of all 10 people who watch us.
Excuse you. You am I not counted as a person? Well, okay. After I did that impression, I guess the answer is yes. With an
Oh!
impression that bad, I had to make a decision.
Yes, horror games. You were. Wait, hang on.
Yes.
We were talking about something.
I was asking you if you would make a horror game, what the premise would be.
Right, that. I have no fucking clue.
I don't think I could make a horror game, but I think I could make a thing with horror elements. Like,
You think I'm. You think that I'm good at coming up with a plot?
what if we collaborated? What if we worked together and we made a
Hmm.
spooky horror RPG maker horror game?
Hmm.
Make a spooky.
And then we can sell it for like $2.
Sure, I guess. Do you want to do that?
Not really.
All right, that's fine then.
We can market it to the big YouTubers who don't know who we are. We'll make hundreds
We'll make exactly.
at best.
We'll make exactly $2 because someone will pity buy it from us.
Yikes. Yes, horror games are pretty cool.
Yes. Go out.
You don't like horror games. Fuck you.
No, I'm just have a very low scare threshold. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I'm shit at them. Now you know what games I don't like?
What games do you not like?
Teletubby games. Those are the real horror games. Those are the kinds of games where you're just horrified every second that you're staring at it and you just want it to go away.
Oh.
Remember
Oh.
remember when they made Slender Tubbies?
No.
Well, it was stupid. It was really, really stupid. They were like, and that was just the start of the horrible Slenderman stuff, and then they made all kinds of Slenderman stuff where the only actual premise is that we've replaced the model of Slenderman with something else that chases you, and they were really dumb.
Wasn't that Baldi's Basics?
No, Baldi's Basics was the best game ever made by a human. What was that? There was Pokemon Slender or Poke Slender, and that was hilariously terrible. You have like stock Pokemon 3D models following you around, just absolutely like not at all moving with blood like coming out of them. Or I say blood.
Because that's what every horror thing needs. More blood.
And then there's Shrek Slender, where you walk around Shrek Swamp, which is a pre-bought Unity map, and Shrek, and then Shrek is T poses at you to assert dominance.
Oh, well, I'd certainly be scared of that.
I'd be scared of Shrek taking his swamp water and then selling it to people.
Gosh, don't even with that.
That's the real horror of your own existence, is that you have to share a planet with people who drink people's fucking bathwater.
And somehow we brought it here.
Try cut this from the record.
No, we won't.
Cut it from the record, just like you cut everything else I tell you to cut from the record.
You mean that thing? You mean those things that never get cut?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, jeez. I just thought of another one. Fuck. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Describe it.
So, you're this child, and you have this teddy bear. The world is 3D. I remember, like, there's this giant segment in the forest where there's a giant tree monster chasing you.
Was this a good game or a bad game?
I don't know. I've only ever seen one playthrough.
Is that Among the Sleep?
But it's Among the Sleep. I think that's what it's called.
Something
that sounds
something
familiar.
Like that, Among the Sleep. I know that game has a teddy bear. I've never watched that.
Yeah,
game.
like the teddy bear's your good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Is that what it's called?
I think so. Let me.
You're like a baby.
Yeah, that sounds like Among the Sleep.
Okay. You have anything to say about Among the Sleep?
Markiplier played it.
I saw Zombie Horse play it. Rip Zombie Horse, man.
Who's Zombie Horse?
You know, I don't really know how to describe it, but I liked them. It was two guys. I appreciated Zombie Horse for like the 3 playthroughs they did of games.
Well, that makes it sound like they stopped, and I'm wondering if it was for some
they did stop
really bad reason.
One of their guys like wanted to pursue his career in music.
Oh, that's so much better than I thought it would be.
I think that's why they stopped.
I was afraid you were gonna say. I was afraid you were gonna say that one of them flippin' died.
Oh boy, I have to check my Audacity now.
That'd be terrible.
All right. I hope that didn't fuck with it too much.
You can stop recording and check back and then continue recording. We'll just have to clap.
You know
again.
what? I think I'm just gonna keep going like this, and Try can cut that bit of magic from the record if it turns out your voice bled through on my end.
Oh, that'd be great. Who doesn't want to hear DSY in stereo?
Dizzy in stereo.
Who doesn't want to hear DSY? Everyone raises their hand.
Gosh. Who doesn't want to hear Tar?
Nobody raises their hand.
Oh, thanks, friend. I'm going to assume that you said nobody there because Discord kind of ate your first syllable.
Yes, I said nobody, and you can watch the video once it's posted to confirm that.
Great, you're a real pal. You're a pal.
You know,
I wanted to say friend, and then I transitioned into pal. So you're a pal.
You're a foot pal, a foot pal, football. You know what's not real.
Football is it football season?
God, I hope not.
I hope not too. Well, it doesn't matter for me since I live by myself.
I was gonna say, well, you brought up Among the Sleep. That reminds me of a game that's not necessarily a horror game, but it has some creepy themes in it. It's this really obscure PlayStation portable game called Crush. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Okay, so Crush is the story about this guy who has a 3-letter name that begins with D, who has sleeping issues or severe insomnia.
I'm sorry?
Crush is the story about this guy who has a 3-letter name that begins with D and insomnia.
Okay.
Remind you of anybody? Anyways.
Wait.
So he goes to.
Oh, that was you were doing a funny thing. You were likening the protagonist to yourself.
Yeah, but that's where our similarities end, honestly, because he goes to this doctor who gives him a machine called Crush, which is supposed to let him have really lucid dreams, I guess, so he can try to figure out where his nightmares are coming from by solving puzzles, perspective puzzles. He has to run through a bunch of his nightmares and solve puzzles and try to figure out try to figure out why he has insomnia. And you go deeper and deeper into his mind. And then the game has the most bizarre ending ever, where you have no idea what happens and the machine goes haywire and I guess you all die or something. It's really unclear, deliberately.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that like the ending twist in Among the Sleep where you find out your mom is abusive?
I don't know the ending twist of Among the Sleep. I just only assume there is one because all horror games have a twist.
Your mom is abusive.
Oh. Wow, that's that's dark. How is she abusive to a baby?
And then you someone answers the doorbell rings and then your dad answers and your dad has the same voice as the teddy bear.
So Among the Sleep is mom is bad, dad is good?
Yes.
So I think I need to play this game to get the full emotional impact. Yeah. So why are you being chased around a forest by a tree monster?
Because the tree monster is your mom.
This is just starting to remind me of Catherine. where all the you're getting chased up a cliff. You're getting chased up this gigantic pile of blocks by a monster that is typically portrayed in some form by Catherine. Or by
right, like her butthole.
not that specifically, but
you're getting chased by that ass.
They're making a sequel or something. So Try tells me.
I heard about that.
Which I think considering the endings of the game, the only way a sequel would really work is if it had nothing to do with the first game at all. Which
doesn't like the first game ask you to call upon your real world experiences with relationships, like gamers who have relationships?
I don't know, but why would it ask you to call upon your relationship experiences when you're role playing as a character who has an established personality?
I don't fucking know.
Catherine is made by Atlas, and Atlas makes a lot of games that don't have anything to do with each other, narratively speaking. So I think Catherine 2 should not have anything to do with Catherine 1, narratively speaking. I think it should be a whole new group of people in a totally different situation that also involves them climbing up blocks. Because I feel if you bring
Amazing.
I feel like if you bring back the previous main characters but contrive a new situation, then things are just gonna get really stupid.
Ugh. Oh, jeez, I'm yawning today.
You're falling asleep, and I'm finally waking up, and I'm like,
Yikes.
I need
You
soup in a
could say
bath.
I'm falling among the sleep.
And this has been Bros in a Landfill.
Signing off!